All right, so let's see who is over in the Nearpod. And how far did we get yesterday? Did we get to distributive or no? Doesn't. Looks like we talked about it briefly, but didn't get too far with that. Let's see. So that's where we left off. All right, so we're going to review what 5 properties we talked about yesterday. And then we're going to do some work with them. Okay, our first one was identity property. And what we look for with identity property is the number doesn't change. So that would be with addition, adding 0, or multiplication, multiplying by 1. The number doesn't change. Next, in line. Okay, commutative property. I commute back and forth to work. So it's just about the numbers switching places. What comes first, what comes second. Doesn't matter what order we multiply or add in, we're going to get the same answer. So when you see numbers just flip like that, commutative. And let's see what's next. Okay, associative. This is my Mean Girls property, where the numbers stay exactly where they are, but the groups change. So like with 3 plus 4 plus 2, first they were 3 and 4 were friends, and 2 was on the outs. And then 3 did something, 4 got mad and started hanging out with 2. The groups change. Yeah, there was a lot of drama between them, those numbers. No, but it just means, you know, like when you're adding or multiplying, it doesn't matter the order. You're going to get the same number. So when it's associative property, we look for the numbers staying the same, but just the parentheses moving, the groups moving. Okay. Who is in the waiting room? I need to have somebody like in charge stuff. Mm-hmm. Don't really remember, but we're doing math right now, so we're going to keep doing math. Okay, what came after associates? So associative property, who do you associate with? Or the friendly group, or maybe not so friendly group. Yep. Okay, the next property, the inverse property, it is the property of undoing. Okay, so if I have positive 3, I can put a negative 3 with it to zero it out, to get rid of it. So our opposites when we add, otherwise when we multiply, I can multiply by its reciprocal. Remember we did keep, change, flip. So in my example here, I have 3 over 1, which is the same as a 3, and I multiplied it by its reciprocal. I flipped it to 1 over 3. I multiply across, I get 3 over 3, which is the same as 1. So basically, I just undid that 3, and it's gone now. Well, it's a 1. So we did the inverse property. And we started distributive. I think this is where we left off yesterday. And distribute is like passing stuff out, giving a little bit to everybody, like dealing cards. So distributive property, we're going to distribute that 2 by multiplying it with the 3 and then multiplying it with the 6. All right, so, oops. The next thing that you have on here. Yes?
What is your most craziest period?
Okay, well, I'm in the middle of teaching math right now, so I'm not really going to go there. I'm not going there right now. But I am going to pull up a copy of where you all are, because we are going to move on to the next part of the Nearpod. Where'd it go? Where did you go, man? How did I lose a whole screen? Nearpod. Okay, that's my copy of the Nearpod, but where's the other copy? Maybe this is it. All right. So this is where we left off. Does yours have the matching pulled up? Does yours have a matching screen pulled up, or does it? It has that pulled up? I wonder if this is a one from Ileana. Oh, this is the wrong period, that's why. Okay. Trying to figure out where my teacher version is of this Nearpod, where it went. Maybe it's over here. All right, so I got my student version right here. But where is my regular version? Don't know. I will find it. Okay, here we go. Aha! Okay, so now we're going to do some matching. And if you think you have it, you can go ahead. But if you're like, what? Raise your hand if this is confusing. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, so we're going to start with some easy ones. So stick with me if you want. Otherwise, you can go ahead. Let's start with the yellow box that is 8 times 1. 8 times 1 is 8. Let's look at our choices here. Identity, commutative, associative, inverse, or distributive. Which property keeps the number the same? Nobody? Look at the red writing. Which one has the number staying the same? Okay, the identity property. The identity property, it keeps its identity. It's not changing. So we're multiplying. So I'm going to find the match that says identity property of multiplication. For me, it's down here. Okay, let's see if we can find the identity property for addition while we're doing identity property. Which one of those pictures has a number or whatever staying the same?
Can I say?
Yes, please.
Identity property of addition is the bird.
Yes, it's the bird, because the bird is 0 plus A. You still get A. The number stays the same. A represents a number. And I'm going to go with, where is that for me? Identity. Good job. All right, look at the turtle next. 2/3 times its reciprocal, 3 over 2. 2/3 times 3 over 2. It's undoing itself and changing to 1. Say it again. Inverse of ooh, excuse me, Mr. Bird. Yeah. Inverse of multiplication would go with my turtle. Good. Okay, look at the apple right now. 4 times, oops. My computer's being a little sensitive, I guess. 4 times 5 is equal to 5 times 4. 4 times 5, 5 times 4. Which operation has our numbers flipping around but nothing else? Yeah, commutative. A times B is the same as B times A. The order is switched around, but nothing else changes. I mean, there's parentheses, but these parentheses just tell us to multiply. So I go from home to work, work to home, commute. Let's see, and that is multiplication one. Okay, can you find the commutative addition one? No. Yeah, the blue star, good. 8 plus a is the same as a plus 8. All right, let's look at what's going on in this arrow here. I notice that I've got numbers 8 times 6 times 3 on one side of the equal sign, and on the other side, it's still 8 times 6 times 3. So the numbers didn't change, but the grouping changed. Yeah, who do you associate with in your groups? Associative, and that's multiplication. Good. Oops. Third time in a row doing that. Associative. Okay. Inverse property of addition is going to undo addition. So the sunshine, yeah. 5 plus negative 5 equals 0. That zeroes out. And in the star, the 2 is multiplied by the 3 and then multiplied by the 5, otherwise known as distributed. And we have it. What'd you think of that? Yes? No? You thought it was easy? Well, nobody was giving me answers. All right. Pretty good, guys. Okay, moving on. Okay, so this is an example of which property. Let me pull that down here. Oops, that's not how you do that. This is an example of which property. 0 times 7 times 4 is equal to 0 times 7 times 4. Is it identity property of multiplication? Is it associate property of multiplication? Or is it distributive property? Look at what the numbers do from one side of the equal sign to the other. Don't tell me an answer, though, because it's a quiz question just to see if you can figure it out. Look for the changes from one side of the equal sign to the other side. Okay, and our next one is what? This is an example of which property 3 times 1 is equal to 1 times 3. Would that be identity property of multiplication, the associate property of multiplication, or the distributive property? You know what? Neither of those answers is right. Oh, I need to go fix that. That should be commutative. So I guess I should have put the right answer in there, huh? I guess it could go with identity, right? Multiplying by 1. I guess it's kind of both. My mistake. But that's showing the numbers flipped, so that I should have changed that to commutative. And this last one, this is an example of what property? 3 times 1/3. Would that be identity property of multiplication, inverse property of multiplication, or associative property of multiplication? Rianne, Ayana, nice work. 3 in a row. Oops. Were y'all finished with that? No. I have 2 people working still on here. Darlene, I'm going to call your mama. Is that Disney Channel in here or something? All right, we're going to move on. Oops. 1, 2. Where is my... Okay. All right, so this next one, what you are going to do, or we can do this together, show how the properties or operations apply to the following expressions. So for the first one, commutative, you are going to rewrite that using the commutative property, which is flipping it around. So you can work on this on your own. You can work on it with a neighbor, or maybe not a neighbor. So let's see. I just want to make sure I'm getting the right thing of what it should look like when we're done here. Okay, so when it says to use the property, you're gonna, if it requires flipping, you're gonna flip it. If it's just a problem, you're gonna answer it, like if it has it equals something. So, which one of these is just a simple something times something or something plus something equals something? Which one would that be? No? Okay. I need to just, it's not gonna let, why do you do that? Y'all are so quiet. Oops. How do I get out of there? Okay. I thought this was just like for shutting it. That's right there. Okay. Better let me write down. No? Still not going to let me write on here, huh? Oh. My board is being super weird. Because it won't let me write on the thing. I don't understand. Okay. Oh, my board's just being weird. Okay, so I guess I can use the text boxes or whatever. Okay, commutative property of addition. Commutative property says we're just going to flip it the other way. Just like I commute to home and back to school. So 18 plus Q is going to give me what on this side? Flip it around. What should I get? It's actually Q. Q plus 18. All right. And then additive inverse property. So I'm going to add the opposite to undo it. So 15 plus b equals 0. Equals, oh, so to the 15 we're going to add the opposite number. So this starts as 15, but we're going to put a negative with it to undo it. So 15 plus, since it says we're going to add the opposite, additive inverse is I add the opposite. So positive 15, I'm going to add my negative 15 to it. That's what that B stood for, is another number to equal 0. Okay. Makes sense. It is a Q. Okay, my next one. Multiplicative identity property. So I can put anything in there. X times 1. Oh, X, if they're talking about any number times 1, what would my answer be? That number, right? So if it gives me the number X, whatever that's supposed to be, my answer would just be an X. I think commutative property is my favorite, and I think it's weird to have a favorite math property. I wonder why. Okay, so we're going to do commutative. A times B. What should I type here? No. I typed the whole alphabet. No. A times B is the same for commutative. I got to flip my numbers around. A times B, B times A. School to home, home to school, school to home, home to school. So A times B becomes B times A. Gotcha. Okay, additive identity stays the same when we add a 0. So 19 plus 0, 19. Easy peasy. Random color change. Okay. Multiplicative inverse property. So what number could I multiply 2 by to undo it and get 1? Look at what it says for inverse up there. A number times its reciprocal. So what should I write for its reciprocal here? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Okay, if I think of 2 as a fraction, I'm going to put it over 1. 2 over 1, its reciprocal means I'm going to flip it over to be 1 over 2, so half. And I will type it like a fraction. 1 half. If I multiply 2 by 1 over 2, it's going to undo itself. And that's that inverse property for undoing. Okay. What about commutative, this guy right here? What would that look like? 7 plus, I think that's a 9 this time actually. 7 plus 9. Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Somebody help me out. What should I type here? Commutative property of addition. 7 plus 9. Do y'all really not know?
9 plus 7.
9 plus 7. Thank you. Win the award. Commutative, I commute. Okay. Multiplicative, identity, property. That's just going to be 45. Just come on here. 1 times 45 equals itself. Okay, associative property of addition. Associative is who you hang out with, who you associate with, your group. So we got to change the group on this one. Somebody in class, tell me what I should write here to just change the group. Yeah, instead of being with the 5 plus 6, I'm going to move the parentheses. So I'm going to type 5. The plus stays the same. This time I need a parentheses though. 6 plus 8. Okay, additive identity. Additive identity. H plus 0. Oh, that's just easy. Whatever number you add with 0, your number stays the same, right? So the way that they're using this variable h, it stands for any number plus 0 will still be that same number. So we're just going to put an h there. And my h is floating away. Commutative property of multiplication, it looks like, is this last one. So 13 times 6, commutative. My very favorite property. What should I type? Yes. 6 times 13. I'm going to flip it around. All right. Oops. Dude, I totally didn't mean to do that. What happened? H. Okay. I'll leave that up for a minute. Okay. Huh? No. There's only like a few minutes of class left, and then I want to finish this assignment. So I'm going to submit mine. You need it? All right, moving on. All right, match each of the expressions in column 1 with an equivalence expression in column 2. So I'm going to let you do this on your own. You're just going to, you can draw a line and circle like from one thing to the other. Each of the expressions in column 1 with an equivalent expression in column 2. So we've got 2 groups of numbers to do. These 2 go together, those 2 go together, clearly. Well, that was random and loud. Do, 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 do. That's weird. I kind of feel like I skipped a page. Oh well. Okay. Little one. Malachi got it. Michael waiting on you. Nathan looks good. Okay. Some of these are hard to tell. Ayana, yours is so colorful. It's very nice. Okay, about 1 more minute on this. Remember, we're doing both of them. Okay, XCD, you're drawing lines to compare one side to the other. From column 1 to column 2. So find one thing in column 1 that matches with one thing in column 2. Like, I know, I'm just going to do one of these. That this one, let's see. This one should go with that one. A is the same as A times 1. Its identity doesn't change. So we're drawing lines to go from one side to the other. But you should be matching up which two groups go together. So like ABC right here, A times B times C would go with B times A times C because it doesn't matter what order I multiply in. Natalie, your bottom one looks on the left. You match C plus B plus A to a multiplication? You matched addition with multiplication. Oh wait, no, that's not you. Unless they did the same thing, or my screen just moved. No, you did the same thing. Okay, I noticed that some people matched on the bottom here, C plus B plus A. You went straight across to B times A times C. Well, multiplication and addition, they don't match up to each other. One doesn't equal the other. Okay, so go ahead and submit whatever you have. We're going to move on. All right. So you are just going to circle the correct answer. Number 1, which example shows the zero product property? Do we even talk about the zero product property? Probably not. And number 2, which example does not show the commutative property of addition? Okay. Now I'm waiting for like 6 people to start working here. Come on. So that second one, which example does not show the commutative property of addition? Okay, 20 seconds on this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So the one that didn't show it was the one that showed multiplication. All right, I think that's enough for today. That's enough. We don't need to do anymore. This was kind of just rewriting it. We already did that on the other one. So that's going to be it for today. Hopefully you have a little bit of a better understanding of the properties. We'll probably be starting something new next week unless you really love properties and want to keep working on properties. Bye.